Sleep deprivation can impact your body in many different ways. We all need different amount of sleep, depending on our age, health, and location. For example, a school-aged kid, aged 6 to 12 years, needs 9 to 12 hours of sleep per 24 hours. A teen aged 13 to 18 years needs 8 to 10 hours of sleep per 24 hours, and an adult aged 18 to 60 years needs 7 or more hours of sleep per 24 hours. If you don't get enough sleep at night, there can be negative long-term effects, such as immune system damage, higher rates of cancer, and studies have even shown that sleep deprivation is correlated with higher overall death rates. Sleep is what your body needs to heal, and there can be bad consequences if you neglect it. So what causes people to fall asleep? If you're looking to fall asleep faster, there are 3 main factors going into sleep. First, it needs to be completely dark. Lower the blinds, turn off all lights. It needs to be very dark in order for you to sleep. Second, and most importantly, your body needs to be cooling down throughout the night. To lower your core temperature, you can do things such as setting the thermostat to around 65 degrees, not using that many blankets, and even, though this might be counterintuitive, taking a hot bath before bed. Lastly, make sure you go to bed early. You can look up how much sleep you need for some of your age or rewind this video. Make sure to have a sleep schedule that fits your needs. Sleep deprivation has many long-term effects, but what about the short term? There are many ways that it can affect you right now that can be just as disastrous. You probably know that sleep deprivation makes you woozy and slows down your brain. But by how much? The answer may surprise you. According to the CDC, staying awake for 24 hours, or pulling an all-nighter, will have the same effects on you as a blood alcohol content, or BAC, of 0.10%. To put that into context, the legal limit for driving is 0.08% BAC. Even staying awake for 18 hours straight will have the same effects as a BAC of 0.05%. This means that driving sleepy is the same or worse than driving drunk. This is called drowsy driving, and researchers estimate that it's responsible for 20% of all motor vehicle crashes in the US. That means that drowsy driving causes 1 million crashes, 500,000 injuries, and 8,000 deaths each year. Imagine coming into work or school drunk. That would cause you to perform horribly, might cause you to get fired, expelled, or even arrested, and depending on where you work, might injure people. But what if you come in sleep deprived, having pulled an all-nighter the night before? That would have the same effects, or even be worse, like coming in drunk. As you're about to see, sleep deprivation has been responsible for some major crashes and workplace accidents. Many disasters have been caused by sleep deprivation. The list is long, so we'll be focusing on 3 major disasters in which sleep deprivation has played a part. Number 1, the Exxon Valdez oil spill. If you aren't familiar with it, it occurred when an oil tanker called the Exxon Valdez ran aground and spilled more than 10 million gallons of crude oil into the water around Alaska, killing between 100,000 and 250,000 seabirds, at least 2,800 sea otters, around 12 river otters, 300 harbor seals, around 250 bald eagles, and 22 orcas. So what role did sleep deprivation play in this accident? According to Dr. Meryl Mittler, scientific director of the Scripps Clinic Sleep Disorder Center, the timing of the accident was consistent with a sleep-related or fatigue-related error. 3 mates working under the captain, who were operating the ship at the time, were all sleep-deprived and well within the criteria for the BAC sleep deprivation link. Second, the Chernobyl nuclear incident. The Chernobyl incident was a nuclear explosion that was estimated to have released 400 times more radioactive material than the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. It is considered the worst nuclear disaster in history in terms of both cost and deaths, and it's one of only 2 nuclear energy accidents rated at 7, which is the maximum severity, on the International Nuclear Event Scale. Damages cost almost $70 billion, and the accident hospitalized 134 people with radiation poisoning. The radiation released is estimated to cause more than 15,000 deaths overall. The operators responsible for the Chernobyl incident were heavily sleep deprived, which probably contributed to the eventual meltdown and explosion of the reactor. Lastly, the Challenger explosion. The Challenger explosion occurred when the Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart and exploded 73 seconds into its flight, killing all 7 crew members aboard. Several key managers responsible for making sure nothing would go wrong had been working since 1 a.m. and had only had 2 hours of sleep, which would have the same effects as being legally drunk. Sleep deprivation has also played a role in other disasters, including the 3 Mile Island nuclear incident, the American Airlines Flight 1420 and Air India Express Flight 812 plane crashes, the Metro North and Hoboken train crashes, and many others. In addition, there are countless other ordinary workplace accidents caused by sleep deprivation. It's estimated that sleep deprivation-related losses cost the United States between $280 billion and $411 billion in 2015 alone. Sleep deprivation can be scary, but that doesn't mean you need to constantly worry about sleep. There's no use crying over spilled milk. If you aren't sleeping well, call a doctor. Sleep is one of the most important things we can do to stay healthy, and I believe that everybody should see a sleep doctor regularly, just like you would go for a checkup with your dentist. If you have insomnia, you might want to look into cognitive behavioral therapy as a treatment. Try not to take sleeping pills. They can actually hurt your sleep habits over time. Sleeping pills can also come with some rare but serious side effects. In April, the FDA put a black box warning, the agency's most severe label, on some of the most popular insomnia drugs: Lunesta, Sonata, and Ambien. The FDA found 66 incidents of semi-conscious behavior after taking these drugs, including sleepwalking or driving asleep, that sadly resulted in injuries or deaths. Not only can sleeping pills sometimes have these side effects, but, and this is the most important factor to consider, when you stop taking sleeping pills, they can cause a scenario called rebound insomnia, which makes it even harder to fall asleep. Make sure to always have a good night's sleep, and don't do anything dangerous sleep deprived. Stay safe. Thank you to Dr. Shelby Harris for answering my questions and helping me learn more about sleep. Thank you to Hilton Sherrill for the section on sleeping pills. Thank you for watching, and sleep well.